Spectacular landscapes that include mountains and beaches, dynamic cities with a bunch of lifestyle options, vibrant regional centers, and a population of which 70% thrives on recreational activity and sports, especially water sports. Sounds like a dream place to live in. To this mix, add some excellent universities and an inclusive professional culture, and you would probably think this place exists only in your dreams, right? Well, you are in for a pleasant surprise because I am talking to you about Australia. Australia is home to 7 of the best student cities in the world, and the universities in the country cultivate collaborative, practical learning among students and allow them to explore new opportunities. Studying in Australia will guarantee you a head start to a successful career. If you are looking to further your education, undertake a world-class degree, or fast-track your career, Australia offers a range of opportunities. Whether you choose to undertake an undergraduate program, MBA, engineering degree, humanities, or an English language course, or a postgraduate specialization, Australia is difficult to beat in terms of standard of living, academic excellence, and support for international students. It also offers part-time work rights, and post-course completion students can work full-time on their post-study work rights visa, which are up to 6 years in duration. So today, I will simplify the process of application and admissions to an Australian university. But before that, here are 2 important things that you must know. Firstly, most programs in Australian universities do not require you to give an entrance test. That's a bit of a relief, isn't it? And secondly, it is important to know the intakes in Australian universities before completing the admission process. So, with that in mind, let's get started. I am going to talk to you about 1. Intakes, 2. Admission cycle, 3. Types of universities, 4. Admissions requirements or documentation, 5. Timelines, 6. Submitting application, 7. Offer acceptance. So let's start with the intakes. Intakes available in Australia. Australian colleges and universities offer 3 major intakes. Some universities may refer to these intakes as semesters. The 3 intakes available in Australia are Trimester 1, which starts in February, Trimester 2, which starts in July, and Trimester 3, which is a smaller session compared to Trimesters 1 and 2, starts in September. February and July intakes, which are Trimesters 1 and 2, are the most popular with international students. Now let me give you a complete overview of the admission cycles. The complete admission process window starts a minimum of 5 to 6 months before the beginning of the actual program. The admission cycle consists of the following steps: shortlist the course and university, submit application, arrange financials, medical checkup, offer acceptance, lodge visa, departure, and finally, the commencement of the program. Since there are so many steps to completing the admission cycle, it is advised that you start as early as possible. In fact, all the scholarship deadlines are also much earlier than the beginning of the program, which is why it is doubly important that you start early. Now that you know about the intakes, it is important for you to know about the types of universities and institutions that Australia has to offer. Types of universities. Australia is home to 39 world-class universities, and 8 of these universities are counted amongst the world's top universities. This group of 8 universities is known as Geo8 universities. Also, each state or territory in Australia is home to 1 university campus. Now let's talk about the Geo8 universities. They are Australia's most research-intensive universities and have consistently been ranked the highest amongst Australian universities. In fact, they are some of the largest and oldest universities in Australia, which adds to their prestige. The Geo8 universities are the University of Adelaide, the Australian National University, the University of Melbourne, Monash University, UNSW Sydney, the University of Queensland, the University of Sydney, and the University of Western Australia. In fact, the map on your screen lists out the universities in Australia. The Geo8 universities are often compared to the Russell Group of pioneering research universities in the United Kingdom. If you're wondering, what is this Russell Group of Universities? Then you must check out our video on the UK admission process on YouTube. Here we go. Admission requirements and application checklist or documentation. The basic requirement for all universities is the same: academics, work experience if you have any, and a statement of purpose. Also, Australia is one of the top choices for international students because the universities provide plenty of scholarship opportunities for international students. In fact, they also have a few 100% scholarships for international students. And do remember to consult your IDP expert, as they will help you choose the university that's right for you and suited to your profile. They will also help you choose a program according to your interests. Let me tell you now about the checklist for the application. This includes application form, mark sheets and certificates, IELTS scores, and statement of purpose. Application form. You need to read your application form thoroughly and then fill it with completely accurate information. Double-check the information before you submit it. There are no limitations on the number of applications you can fill or the number of institutions you can apply to. But we would not suggest that you apply to many universities. We recommend that you do your research before you apply and keep your preference to a maximum of 3 universities. Please know that there is no application fee for most Australian universities, but a few top universities may ask for one. In fact, this application fee might also be waived off for academically bright students. So do check up with the IDP expert before you submit your application. Mark sheets and certificates. If you're applying for an undergraduate course, you will need to submit your 10th and 12th class mark sheets and certificates. If you're currently in the 12th standard, you will need to submit predicted scores. If you're applying for a postgraduate course, you'll need to submit your 10th and 12th mark sheets, bachelor's degree and semester mark sheet, and backlog certificate. If you're still pursuing your bachelor's, you need to submit a provisional degree and semester mark sheet. However, the application process in Australia is quite simple, and even if you're in your 7th or 8th semester, you can still start the application process. IELTS scores. Standard English test results such as IELTS is a mandatory requirement. Whether you're applying to an undergraduate program or a graduate program, the basic requirement for all universities is overall 6.5 and 6 in each band. However, this may vary from program to program. Statement of purpose. This is one of the most important documents because it covers your reasons for choosing Australia as a study destination and the place where you want to have a career. It should give clear and valid reasons for why you want to pursue your program of choice in Australia, how the particular course you're applying for will help you, and last but not the least, your future job prospects after you complete your course. For some special programs, you might need to submit a letter of recommendation, a portfolio, a resume or CV, and work experience letters. Do remember that our IDP experts are always at hand. They are well equipped to guide you with your statement of purpose. Our YouTube channel has a detailed video on the statement of purpose. You should check it out if you want to know more about it. Before we move on to discussing timelines, I would like to answer one of the most asked questions. Is a gap year accepted in Australia? Well, the answer to that is it depends from case to case. The Australian government does recognize that the hardship that students faced during COVID period could have led to a gap year. Please note, if you have a gap year, you should have a proper reason for it or documentation proof for the gap. Timelines. As far as timelines go, the sooner you apply, the better are your chances of getting admission and a scholarship. Let me explain this a little better. Let's say your targeted intake is the July intake. For that, you need to start your application process in the month of November or December. Basically, you need to start preparing at least 6 to 7 months before your intake window opens up. Now, let's talk about submitting your application. Submitting application. There are multiple ways to submit your application to an Australian university. While students can apply directly to the university of their choice, it is to be noted that most Australian universities require something called an agent authorization. This basically means that all the documents submitted to the university have to be certified through the university's trusted agency or partner. Did you know that IDP is a trusted partner for all Australian universities? Well, Now you do. You can also speed up your application process now. How, you ask? Well, you can use the exclusive IDP Fastlane service and get your offer in principle from institutions in minutes. Yes, you heard that right, in minutes. If you use the IDP Fastlane service, your application will get priority over other applications. So we would suggest making use of this service. You can download the IDP Live app from the Google Play Store or Apple's App Store and use the IDP Fastlane service. Through this app, you will get an offer in principle from your university of choice in minutes, and the final offer will take much lesser time than it usually does. This is because the applications submitted through the exclusive IDP Fastlane service are given priority by the university. So what are you waiting for? Speed up your process and skip the waiting that is a part of the normal application process. The IDP Fastlane is an exclusive service which is absolutely free of cost and is only to serve our students better and faster and to avoid the huge waiting time when it comes to getting an offer from the universities. Offer acceptance. The university will provide a conditional offer to the student after they have submitted their application. Students will need to fulfill the conditions and clear the GTE requirement to get a final offer from the universities. Now you must be wondering, what is GTE? Well, it stands for Genuine Temporary Entrant, and it is the most important component of your application because without a GTE, you will not receive a final offer. So let me tell you some more about the GTE. GTE in Australia is a mandatory obligation. As part of the GTE undertaking, international students must provide substantial proof that they are coming to Australia temporarily to pursue quality education and have the financial and circumstantial background to sustain themselves for the entire duration of the program. While writing the GTE statement, you need to keep in mind your career ambitions, your economic condition, any reasons for your gap year if you have one, and your ties to the home country, and so on. Along with your personal statements, you will be required to attach supporting documents like your financial documents to show sufficient funds for your education in Australia. However, this doesn't mean that students will be sent back after completing their course. In fact, after successful completion of the program, Australian universities offer great post-study work rights that go up to 6 years. Once you clear your GTE, you will get your final offer letter from the institution. There is a bunch of things that you need to do after that. To start with, you have to take mandatory health coverage. This is also called OSHC, which stands for Overseas Student Health Coverage. Don't you worry about that because IDP Student Essential Services will help you here and you can easily get a good and cost-effective health coverage through our trusted partner. Once that's done, pay your first semester fee because it's compulsory to do so to book your seat at the university. Here too, IDP will help you through the Student Essential Services. Right from education loans to banking services, IDPs will help you with cost-effective solutions. Please remember that the last day to accept the offer along with the fee payment will be mentioned and you need to stick to those timelines so that your admission is confirmed. Once you pay the fee and take the health insurance, you request a university for COE. Now, COE stands for Confirmation of Enrollment. Please note that the COE is one of the main documents for your visa purpose. Once you have the COE from the university, you can apply for your student visa. We have a separate video on YouTube that tells you more about the student visa process and important documentation. You can find the links in the description and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more. I hope this video makes it easier for you to apply to Australia. It is one of the safest countries in the world and has special legislation to secure the rights of international students. International students can look forward to high remuneration career prospects such as medicine and healthcare, finance, IT, mining, and other engineering trades, teaching and social work. Australia is the 12th largest economy and one of the wealthiest Asia-Pacific nations. Due to a robust economy and a high employment rate with good quality jobs, Australians enjoy one of the highest standards of living in the world. Having enjoyed over 2 decades of economic expansion, Australia has become internationally competitive in financial and insurance services, technologies, and high value-added manufactured goods. All these things add up to make Australia one of the best choices for international students. Once again, for applications, download the IDP Life app and use the IDP Fastlane service to speed up your application process and get your offer in principle from institutions in minutes. Remember, all IDP counseling services are free of charge. Stay tuned for more insights on studying abroad and check out our other videos on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. If you have the dream, we will show you the way.